Chairman, I'd like to call Brittany Note.
Hello. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak to you about our cause. My name is Brittany Oates, and I'm a senior at Lee County High School, and this is the Make-A-Wish Club sponsor, Miss Nancy. And I founded a chapter of the Make-A-Wish Foundation at LCHS earlier this year. Make-A-Wish Foundation grants wishes to terminally ill children at no cost to them or to their family. Our club's mission is to raise $6,700 a year in order to sponsor the wish of someone in our community. Make-A-Wish contacted us a few weeks after the club was started and informed us that a wish was pending in our community and would be able to sponsor that wish. Our club was extremely excited to hear that we would be able to make a difference not only in someone's life but in the life of somebody in our community. The wish we are sponsoring this year is the wish of Sandy McClendon. Sandy recently got to go see the Jonas Brothers and was able to meet them. Our club feels that it would be a really special thing for Sandy if the people in the community got involved and know that the community supports her. So we've been asking local businesses to donate to the club. We have raised $4,010, which is over half of our $6,700 goal. It costs $6,700 to grant a wish, and we are well on our way to reaching that goal. We are planning on having a yard sale at the high school in late January or early February, which we hope will bring us closer to this goal. We are also planning to sell barbecue plates and do a fundraiser with Chili's. We appreciate the community's support in helping us reach our goal by donating time, money, and items to our yard sale. Thank you so much.
And we appreciate you, Ms. Will.
Thank you.
One thing I'd like to say about Brittany is that she came to, she's a member of our psychology club, and she came to me and asked, she's the one that was and brought the initiative forward to start this Make-A-Wish Foundation club in our school. And she's gone door to businesses, to banks, and so forth. So she's responsible for raising this money herself. She's not done any fundraisers, not anything. And these people that she's contacted, just by giving them this letter personally, has raised this money. So we just look for great things in our school through contacting Dr. Walters and our principal and working through them. This is going to be an ongoing thing, so we're going to continue this project started by this young lady. So I'm very proud of her, and so is our school system. So thank you for this time listening to her.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, we have 3 public hearings scheduled for this evening. I'd like Mr. Alexander to come forward first and give the staff report on the variance application for Mr. Paul Brown.
First application was Todd Brock applicant. I submitted an application for variance to the Lee County Code of Ordinance Section 70-562, non-conforming buildings and uses for the purpose of expanding a non-conforming agricultural use of cattle to a recently purchased residential lot. Property is located on Old Stagecoach Road and Grover Street and is zoned R1, single family residential district, which is that map over there. And the Planning Commission recommended denial of this particular application.
Public meeting is now open. Anyone that has any comments concerning Mr. Brock's application, variance report, and would like to speak, please come forward. Is Mr. Brock here? Mr. Brock?
I'm here.
Do you have a spokesman or?
I have a spokesman.
Okay. Let him come forward and sign in, please.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
That's a hard act to follow, though, that.
Yes, ma'am. Please,
My name is Ron McComas. I'm a neighbor. I live over on Thomason Court. And in fact, it just came about because Chuck had asked, Mr. Brock had asked if we would be interested in helping him at that time get a sign a petition up for the residents in the area. And I understand what the planning board stated in the meeting that you had with them, but there were some questions that came up from that. One was that whether it was going to be a rezoning of the area or whether just a variance. And I think a variance is what he's looking for. He doesn't want to rezone that. It would still say stay in R1. And it would be just a variance to put cows in on a little bit of that land, because there's also a house on there, which Mr. Brock intends to rent out. So it's not like it's a big piece of farmland that would be converted. Plus there's a big pond on it. In the planning board meeting, there were several issues that were brought up by residents in that area. One was the pond itself. One of the things that they brought up was that the pond, if the cows were allowed to get in the pond, that would dilute water, which would ultimately dilute would kill off the fish and everything in there. And DNR was contacted, and they said, in fact, cows would be good for it, because it would put organisms into the water that would help them to breathe. It would keep the ground broken up and aerate that at least with one end of the pond. But Mr. Brock, as a result of that, redesigned the fence to go around the pond so that there would be no cattle in that pond area. And it doesn't, in fact, the fencing that he planned on putting up there would be 140 feet west of the property line from Mr. Jordan's property, and then an 80-foot easement all the way around on Grover Street, and also on the stage. The petition that I told you about a little bit ago, all the residents that signed that are people that would live either directly across from it, or like myself, be butted up against that property where he currently has it. And the other issue was that the cows were noisy. Well, none of the residents that signed the petition had any problem with the noise. They said some people said there was an odor problem. There is no odor problem. In fact, Mr. Brock made it a point to go visit all the neighbors on a regular basis. Are my cows bothering me? Is there anything that we need to do? Is there anything I can do to make it a little bit better? And he keeps the ground rate. There is no odor. And I think, Ms. Johnson, you were out there. And it's well maintained, and that's not going to change. And the other thing was, I think people had it in their mind that the cattle that he's going to put there, which he already has, were going to be put there and stay there all the time, and it's not. The property that he's got is broken up into basically 3 little areas now. He wants to add a 4th. And by doing that, this 8 to 15 cows that he has will be moved around so that the grazing would be done on that one over by the pond on the property we're talking about. And they would only be there 10 to 12 weeks out of the year. But that gives I'm not a farmer, so excuse me. But that'll give the grass a chance to come back up in the other pastures so that he can continue moving the cattle around, and he has plenty of feed there. Somebody said, well, it's a business, he's making money off of it. And quite honestly, he's not making cows have babies or have calves. It's just a natural thing. And the most that I've ever seen there is 4 or 5. And he has 8 cows. So that total would never go above, at the maximum, 12 to 15 cows. At the maximum. That includes calves that are on the property. And I've never seen it. I've seen a lot of calves coming in and out of there, but as they get to a certain age, because of the expense of feeding them and grazing them, he doesn't keep them around. He sells them off to get rid of them. But he does it not as a business, because he does it because he's retired, kind of like me. I'm looking for something to do. In fact, I used to do a lot of work for commissioners down in South Florida. But the bottom line is that everything that is, that there's some truths that were put out and there were others that were not. Mr. Brock does an excellent job of maintaining his property. He is very helpful with everybody in the neighborhood. He's very helpful with everybody in the area. And anybody that has any issues with him, he'd be more than happy to sit down and discuss them with him.